On this week's Lokar Car Show, we're on the Tennessee-Virginia state line for the Hot Bristol Night Antique Car Show. People from both states have come to hang out and have a close-up look at these awesome classic rides. While browsing eBay, Michael Heath discovered this 1967 Chevelle Supersport out of Colorado. Michael hauled it home to Virginia, where he owns a shop, and he and his brother worked their magic to restore it.
I had a 67 two-door hardtop Marina Blue just like this one, and I always wanted a convertible, so I bought this one. It was a good solid car, you know, when we bought it. And we stripped it and painted it and put new upholstery in it and wheels and tires and stuff. We did the whole car. It's got a 396, 350 horse. It's a good driver, good smooth car. It really does good. Come down the interstate a minute ago, about 75, and it's as smooth as a new car. It cruises around and turns a lot of people's eyes.
The previous owner of this 1969 300 Deluxe was an older lady who said she couldn't bear to sell it. But when her son bought her another car, she decided to call Greg Fleenor and let it go.
So I bought it and had to completely restore the whole car. The whole interior, new paint, quarter skins, pretty much everything on it. It is a 307, original 307 air-conditioned power steering car. It was pretty odd on a 300 Deluxe. You didn't find many options. That was the base model car, so they didn't put a whole lot of options on them. It does all it needs to do. It's not a super sport, so it's a good car to get around in. I just drive around the shows, mainly just the shows, this and that. Not an everyday driver, no racing. People like it. It's just an odd car. It was a 300 series, which was the base model, where most people, if you want a new car or want an old Chevelle, they'll want a super sport. They want the super sports because of the big engines and all that. I liked it because it was just an odd car. They have a different interior, everything's different on them than a regular 69.
While at a Pigeon Forge car show, Vic Johnson saw this 1964 Buick Riviera and thought, hey, I deserve to have this baby. So he bought it, and he's loved it ever since.
It's kind of a rare car. This is not the original color on it. The original color was a beige, but the guy that I bought it from retired from Buick, and he bought this car and put it in a warehouse, and it sat there for several years, and then he just get out to restore it, and which he worked in the body shop at Buick, and his son did too. So they painted this car this color, you know. They customized it just to least fit. It has just a 64, it has a 65 grill in it. The interior is all original. But the guy ordered this car special. It don't have power windows, don't have any power, has power steering, power brakes, and air. Don't even have a radio in it. But the guy ordered it. It's got a 465 Wildcat engine in it from the factory. So it's pretty stout car, but it's kind of a rare car. I've never seen another one, you know, around. They're pretty hard to find, but I like them. Well, I don't know. My first one was a 58 Buick Roadmaster, and I bought it from the guy. It's been in the same family ever since it's brand new. It has 84,000 miles on it now, which they only built 2,368 of them, and this one was 90% original. I have it at home or whatever, but I drive it, you know. In fact, I had it at the Boiler Show about 4 years ago. In fact, I think you all did a program on it, you know. And so then I bought a 66 Riviera, which is up here several years ago. But I sold it, and then I've got a 68 Riviera at home, all original. A lady bought it brand new, and then I bought it from this guy that he bought it and just taken it to the warehouse. But it's 98% original. Still has the 8-track factory tape player and everything on it works. So I got to liking Buicks, and I love them. Of course, I have some other cars too, but I have 2 Fords and a Studebaker Hawk. But anyway, I'm kind of an old car buff, I say.
Having already built and sold a hot rod once before, Dale McKinney decided it would be easier and cheaper to buy this 1931 Model A Ford already completely restored.
I looked for many months looking for just the right thing, and I just wanted something that everyone else didn't have. It's got a 327, 375 horsepower, not very heavy. and has plenty of power. The fellow that had it before me had a 850 horsepower engine in it, and he swapped out for the 327. He put the wheelie bars on the back. I'm sure he needed them. I haven't needed them yet. The other fellow drag raced it, I haven't, because it's so different and unusual. The biggest thing is the kids. The kids love it. They think it looks like a big Hot Wheels. Mostly to the car shows. My brother's got a car also, and we go together. Most weekends we're at a car show somewhere.
We'll be right back with more amazing cars on the Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group. The Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group, is brought to you by Heart of Appalachia. Virginia is for lovers. Original Parts Group, world-class restoration parts. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GM truck restoration. Lokar, quality, plain and simple. Originally, Scotty Fleenor set out to buy an H1 Hummer from a gentleman. Then, sitting over in the corner, he spotted this 1969 Chevy Camaro Ss 396. He begged the owner to let him buy it for hours until he finally sealed the deal.
So I've had it for about 5 years. Well, I'm 55, so back when I was younger, that was the car to have, still is. I've always wanted a 69. I've had Corvettes over the years, but I always wanted a 69 head and headlight car. The herringbone interior was like halfway finished, so I finished the rest of it with the door panels, the backs of the seats. Also with the headers, we changed them on the car, put new wheels and tires on the car, underneath the car, freshened it up a little bit. The paint is like it was when I got the car, so I had a good paint job on the car. 396 with a Ford 9-bolt rear end under it. We take it out. Of course, I live here in Bristol, so it's kind of a racing town, so we get it out maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I keep it under wrap. I like to get it out more, but I work too much. When I first got the car at the house, I wanted to see what it'd do out in front of the driveway, so there was about 2 black marks there for about 1.5 years, and my wife reminded me of it for at least 1.5 years.
George Smith bought this 1974 Bronco Sport from his uncle after he got out of the Marines in 1992. He says it was a $1,900 bargain.
A few years had passed. I four-wheeled it real heavy. It had it in lake bottoms and everything you can imagine. Wound up getting divorced, sold it to a man. He had it for 17 years. Somebody said he was going to sell it, and I wanted it, so I bought it back for $1,100, and then I started working on it. And originally I was thinking about some kind of a rock crawler type vehicle because I have another Bronco that's set up very nice. But when I started on my engine, I just couldn't hardly take away from, I guess, the power going through the transfer case to try to get back into the back wheels. So I decided to do away with the four-wheel drive stuff and just run the straight axle. And once we decided straight axle, then that's when I guess the gasser was born. So then when you get into that, I started talking about a blower, and then went one step further. Wound up doing with the fuel injection from Andrew Starr at Hillborn Fuel Injection. Excellent guy. He helped me a lot. Well, since it's only 8 3/4 to 1 compression with supercharger, I can drive it anywhere I want to. As a matter of fact, I came through here just last Friday and set off 2 car alarms right here on the side of the street just because it's so loud. But mainly just to come to the car shows and cruise-ins and things like that. We had a guy that fishes out by the lake, and he said that he's seen us going across the dam out there in it about 400 miles an hour. So, but it's fun if you get in it. It's so light. It weighs 2,400 pounds, 800 horsepower, and you can't hardly not push it to the floor. It's just amazing. It's fun. Cargo area, wheel tubs, everything that's on it, I replaced it brand new, and if it wasn't, it was sandblasted, painted, or powder coated. 4.5 years worth of work, and the whole time I could see the end project, and once it finally got there, I took it to Carlisle, Pennsylvania for a 3-day car show for the 50th year anniversary for the Bronco, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It stayed up there for 3 days, and I would walk by and people would be looking at it, talking about it, didn't know it was mine. I loved it.
It's time for Lokar Lowdown with Kevin Ford.
Hi guys. Several years ago, Lokar and Goolsby Customs teamed up when they were building our Camaro. You may have seen it. It's been at all the shows. It won Street Machine. It's a pretty cool car. We developed a lot of new products when we came out with that car, just in a coalition with Goolsby. One of the ones that really stood out was the exterior electronic door handle. This is something even I was like, who wants to put electronics in their door handles? But if you're familiar with any of the late model cars, of course your trunks and your hatches and your doors on Corvettes and stuff are electronic just like that. So why not? Why not modernize your car? So we came out with our standard door handle electronic, it's got a sealed rubber switch on the back, so you don't have to worry about any water intrusion. You know, we include all the electronic hardware you need to get everything hooked up and operating. Well, along the way, people said, well, I can't modify my door. I just want to bolt this on. These don't come off far. So as any product does, it grew. We made an XL version. This was great, better for trucks. We do it in 10 degree or 0, so you got a curve in your pedal. The newest addition we adds like a little droop here. Not only does it add style, but if you have a later model, like say an early Bronco or a Chevelle or Camaro that's got the keyhole, this kind of comes down and covers that up. If you want some more information, come talk to us at a show. Go online and check us out at lokar.com.
Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group. About 10 years ago, Mary Parks received this 1970 Chevelle Ss Ls6 from her stepdad. It took her 5 years to acquire all the parts before she put them in place and completed a bang-up restoration job.
No, he bought it from a guy that got it when he was in high school down in Bluff City. So, and he gave it to me and I've redone it. We rebuilt the motor and put a racing can. We painted it, put the Krager mags, the only mags ever made. And we painted it and just redone it completely interior. Jack Sanders done the interior. S&G done the motor. And Joe Midcalf done the paint. No, I ain't took it down the drags yet. I'd like to, but I haven't. Well, around here I have to go slow, but other places I can go fast, I will. But yeah, I love it. I was going to sell it, but I think I'm going to keep it.
Welcome to Hot Bristol Night. This is a fantastic car show. There are more cars here than we've ever had before. Great turnout. Beautiful evening on State Street in Bristol, Virginia and Tennessee. It's going to be a fun time in Bristol. While you're here visiting with us, take a moment to go up to the Appalachian Back Road routes. These are motorcycle and car routes mapped out just for you with GPS coordinates and turn-by-turn directions. 14 different routes going into the mountains of Virginia and coming back into quaint little towns. Great time for you to come spend the night with us and ride a different route every morning.
Original Parts Group Incorporated Restoration Tip.
So you just got your car fresh out of the paint shop, you're putting it all back together. One of the things you're going to need are bumpers. You've got bumper on the front, bumper in the rear, and here at Original Parts Group we have a variety of bumpers for your A-body car. Both front and rear, stamped from heavy duty steel, chrome plated just like the originals. All of these bumpers, whichever front or rear, feature the correct flanges for the taillight lenses in this instance. Your rear bumper is going to feature everything to bolt up your license plate and your gas door, as well as all the mounting holes for the carriage bolts to fasten those to your brackets. This bumper for the 1970 Chevelle also is available in a kit, which includes the molded compressed rubber pad, just like factory original. This pad features the SS logo as well as the white outer stripe, and it's going to come with the correct heavy-duty glue to fasten it to your bumper. All of these can be found at Original Parts Group website in one of our catalogs, or you can call and speak to one of our sales reps and they'll guide you through the process to get you what you need.
We'll be right back with more amazing cars on the Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group. The Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group, has been brought to you by Rod End Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them. H&M Saw, the saw that cuts straight. McKee's 37, complete auto and RV care. Advertising Edge, the official uniform of the NHRA. Kenny Allison says this 1946 Ford Super Deluxe wasn't really a barn find, as people call it, because it was in a shed when he came across it in Georgia.
And I bought it, okay, about 14 years ago, okay, and I've done all the motor work on it, okay, changed the wheels on it, okay. I didn't do the interior on it, okay, but I polished it up, okay, I've been sort of tinkering with it ever since. No, it's a hobby for me, okay. I'm retired. It's something that I like to do is fool with them, okay? And so I just work on it when I can, when I want to. Okay. No, I took the engine out and I sent it to another place in Indiana and had them rebuild it. It's about 100 horsepower. It's the original flathead V8 engine that came in it. Oh, I drive it to the cruise-ins and the shows, okay, around town here. I normally don't go much farther than 100 miles out. Every time you take it out, even if you're just going to stop at a restaurant, you know, you got to stop and talk to people, okay, and answer questions about it. And like I say, that's rewarding.
Larry Bear says he ran across the body of this 1934 Ford in Pennsylvania, bought it, and started working to rebuild it.
I run up on the body in Concord, North Carolina. It came out of Pennsylvania, had a Pennsylvania title, and I bought it, started building it. A friend of mine, Dale Mitten, we built it together. It took us about 2 years, and we put a 302 in its board, crank balance, pistons, weight and balance, camshaft in it. It was in good shape. It was in good shape. It's a 302 Ford, 50 cubic inch. No, I got too much money into hot rod it. It's a good riding car. It really is. That's pretty much the way I'm going to do. I put air conditioning on it. Rear fenders are 2 inches wider than stock. It's all 34 sheet metal except the fenders, and back across the back where my license plate is, and it's fiberglass. I pied 2 inches in it on the running boards to get it to match the fenders at the back. It's just a driver. I don't care nothing about that much about trophies. I just soon drive it. Everybody when we was building, they asked me if I was going to build a show car. I said, no, I just want a good driver. That's what I got.
This 1965 Thunderbird has been in Mike Campbell's wife's family since 1969. He bought it from them and completed a full restoration on it in 2010.
They bought it at Wallace Oldsmobile in Bristol, and they drove it for a while and parked it, and I got it from them about 10 years ago and restored it. It's been completely from the ground up restored. Had to found a man over in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, and he had parts. That's what he did. He sold Thunderbird parts, and I hooked up with him and got everything I needed. We had to replace the dash. We redid the motor, transmission, put a new hood on it. My friend restored it for me. About probably a month after we got it done, he passed away with a heart attack. And we were the pace car at the Bristol race about 3 years ago, the Saturday night race. It was an awesome feeling. They wouldn't let me drive. They had one of their NASCAR guys driving. I was just riding shotgun. I said, if it quits now, Lord, don't let it quit now. I'm getting out and running. It's got a 390, factory 390, tilt wheel, or pull away, swing away steering wheel, came from factory. We got all the interior factory, ordered it from factory. It's been done about 8 years now.
This week's winner of the Lokar Car Show's Pick of the Show Award, presented by McKee's 37, goes to Freddie Keene and his 1955 Ford pickup truck.
Worked on it a whole lot of years. Changed the suspension out. It's got a 75 Camaro front end, 85 Corvette rear end, 350 Chevrolet, the R700 transmission. Top's been chopped on the truck, 4 inches. Terry Hutchison did part of it, and Donald Young did some work on the truck. Probably the chopped top. Terry's dad, he works for me now, and his dad Frank chopped the top back in 1988 probably. People like to look at it. It's probably 350 to 400 horsepower. It's geared up and truck runs out real good, you know, on the interstate running. It's geared real high. It's good cruiser. We drive down to Gatlinburg sometimes, Inch, Pigeon Forge. Used to go to the F100 show when I first built it every year. And we've not been there for several years now. I rode down to, I guess the last time I took it down last year, we went to the Shades of the Past. I just ease out. I've got old.
Well, that does it for this week's Lokar Car Show from the Hot Bristol Night Antique Car Show. Next week, be sure to join us in the Lone Star State and check out C10s in the park.